Ting-a-ling-a-ling. That's the sound of another express entry draw. I called it last week. I thought they were going to do a draw on Friday. They didn't, but they have since done a draw yesterday and they have done another express entry draw today. If you have no idea what express entry is or what it means, don't worry, stick around. We're going to get to that later on this channel. So subscribe, hit the notification bell as I move into the new series of every single immigration program of Ways to Come to Canada from A to Z coming up next on this channel. But today I wanted to pop in really quickly to do two things. One, to talk about the express entry draws for September so far, and two, I'm going to list out all of the immigration programs A to Z. There's no Z, but in alphabetical order. And then the next episodes that come are going to be breaking down each of these programs, what it is, who is eligible, how to apply for it, the limitations around the program. I'm going to rate each program on a scale of 1 to 5. So I mentioned that in the last video. So in this video, I'm going to name them from A to Z. And then in the next ones, we're going to start at A. So first of all, express entry. So now they have done express entry draws already for September. So one was on September 19th, one was on September 20, one was on September 26th, and one was today, September 27. So they have done 4 draws so far for September. The first one on September 19th was no program specified, which no program specified means that anybody in the express entry pool would have gotten an invitation to apply if their points was above 531. A little bit high, not gonna lie. But it got better as the month went on. On the 20th of September, they did a transport occupations draw. So this is where truck drivers fall into place. It's not just truck drivers, but that's the most common one that people are able to make reference with or relate to in the transportation. But there's other things in there that are related to aircraft professions and aviation professions that fall within the transportation occupation. And when we start breaking down the programs, we'll talk about that. They did a transportation draw on September the 20th and the score was 435. So if your NOC code was one that was under the transportation occupation list and it was above 435, you would have gotten an invitation to apply. If you got an invitation to apply and you're watching this video, please comment in the section below to give the rest of the people some hope. Then on September 26th, just yesterday, they did another draw and they did no program specified again. So this is the second time they're doing that for September. So anybody who was in the pool whose score was above 504 got an invitation to apply for permanent residency. And we can see a little bit of a trend, right? We're kind of trending a little bit down from 531 and we're down to 504. I'm interested to see what the other score is going to be. Today they did a draw of the French language proficiency. Now Karen, if you are watching this, I hope the score was above what your score would have been so that you can get called in the next draw. But they did a French proficiency draw today. They invited 500 people from the pool and the score was 472. So these points are, if you are in the pool, if you know express entry, they mean the world to you. If you don't know what it means you should continue watching, stick around to learn more about the express entry program. Now, I've done a quick sum of how many people have they invited so far, because each time they do an invitation, a round of invitations, they invite X number of people. So in the first draw in September, they invited 3,200 people. Then the second draw, they invited 1,000 people. Then the draw yesterday was 3,000 people. The draw today was 500 people. So what I did was I summed up how many people have they invited to apply for permanent residency for the whole year. 85,448. But their projections is 400,000. I don't know where, or between 4 and 500,000. I don't know where they start to count that 4 and 500,000 if they're count. But the idea was 400,000 or 500,000 permanent residents each year until 2025. And now they're at 85,448. I don't know how to interpret that. I'm going to check in with Minerva in our call on Friday. On Friday, we're going live with Minerva inside the Canadian Dreamers Club, where we get to ask really good questions like this to get an understanding of how the immigration system and the flow of it impacts you as an individual. I was going to say us, but I'm no longer in the immigrant system because I'm through it, but I care about you guys, so it feels like us. If they're at 85,000 now, but they have much higher projections, are they carrying over some of the numbers from last year? But even then, it's still not close to 400,000. We have 3 more or 2 more months left in the year. 3 more months left in the year. What are they going to continue doing more draws in September? Are they going to drop the points even lower? What's going to happen between now and December? Those are questions that you should be asking yourself, especially if you're not in the pool. You can be in the pool if you have good amount of points. You should really be considering it. Get together with our immigration consultant, get together with us inside the Canadian Dreamers Club to understand what this all means for you. I'm very interested to see how the year plays out with the immigration projections based on where they are now and based on where they want to be, which is far away from where they are now, even if we carry over some numbers from last year, right? Still, it's probably at 150,000 and the projections are 500,000, right? Those are the targets of people that they want to have landed permanent residency in Canada. Are they counting international students? But international students go through express entry usually. So really interested to see how this pans out. I'm going to check in with Minerva in our call on Friday at 2 p.m. Join us inside the Canadian Dreamers Club. Secret word for today is going to be French. French. French is the secret word for today. If you have no idea what to do with the secret word, go watch this video with the instructions and go to the page where you're supposed to go to, drop that in for a chance to be inside of our next club coaching call. I'm looking forward to our call on Friday with Minerva, and I will look forward to seeing one of you lucky people in there as well. Now we're going to just pivot into immigration programs from A to Z. So these are the programs that you can come to Canada through all these different streams, right? So I'm going to list them from A to Z. Some of the names are pretty obvious as to what they are. Some of them not so much. But right now I'm trying to give you an idea that how many there are. And then in the upcoming series, I'm going to give you an idea of what each of them are and how you could qualify for each of them. So I'm going to start at A. So the first program is Agri-Food Pilot. Kind of an obvious name. It's agriculture, something food-based. The next is the Atlantic Immigration Program. Then I put B, the business visa. I think the business visa could come under something else, but I put a business visa there for the B category, even though it's not listed on the Canadian Immigration website. There is the Caregiver Program. There is Economic Mobility Program. There is the Express Entry Program, which we spoke about earlier. There is Family Sponsorship. There is the Francophone Immigration Program. There is Hong Kong Permanent Residence Pathways. Yes, there is a pathway specific for people from Hong Kong. We're going to find out all about that. I put in here the LMIA, which is the Labor Market Impact Assessment, and being able to get a job offer through a Labor Market Impact Assessment. I put that in there as a line item, even though it's not one on the Canadian Immigration website, just as a thing by itself. I put it there as a thing by itself because I want to talk about it by itself. Then we have the Provincial Nominee Program. Then we have the Quebec Selected Skilled Workers Program. Then we have the Refugee Program. We have the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program. We have a Self-Employed Stream. We have a Startup Visa Stream. We have a Temporary Resident to Permanent Resident. And this is where programs like the Visitor to Worker could fall under, right? So those are the immigration programs from A to Z. And that is 18 programs from A to Z. It's A to V or A to T, really. But within each of these programs are sub-programs. which is nice and fun, right? So coming up in my upcoming series is going to be breaking down each one of these programs in a short amount of time to help you to get a quick synopsis, to help you understand if it is applicable to you or not, and to rate it to see if it is easy, if it's hard, or what I think would be required for you to qualify as the average Joe, all of that stuff. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. This was a quick video to tell you what those programs are, tell you what's coming up, and to tell you about the Express Entry Score. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if this benefited you in any way. Share it with anybody who you think may benefit. Welcome them to the channel. Bring friends, get some popcorn, watch it, because things are about to get exciting up in here. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Remember to like, subscribe, and keep the faith.